Starbucks training Muslims sick new skill after they've been slipping worse than feces and drinks. Just when we're getting over the absurd price tag that comes with our morning jolt of drive-through Joe, we're learning that there may be more to those prices than just high-quality ingredients. Obviously, Starbucks isn't a conservative company. In fact, they've done quite a bit to run off the conservatives with their political stances, and even outright insults to those that consider less inclusive. Which is a curious choice, considering that the conservatives are by and large gainfully employed and ready to fork over cash to keep ourselves awake for those long working hours. But duty calls, and Starbucks feels it's their duty to make up for our lack of compassion and hire lots and lots of immigrants. Their declaration of support to the immigrant community includes a dedication to hiring people who would otherwise not have a lot of contact with those outside their peer group. Not only is Starbucks going out of their way to make sure these hardly vetted individuals have a job serving us, the infidels, they're making sure that other companies hire them too. Just when you thought you could avoid this madness by going to a nice little independent coffee joint, Starbucks has extended its overly funded arm and put our detriment in front of even their bottom line. This Seattle-based coffee giant has decided to fund its competitors in hiring refugees as well. Their hearts and wallets are just so full that they're willing to actually give money to other coffee shops if they'll just hire Muslim refugees. Via Pamela Geller. Barclays' 1951 Coffee Company was recently awarded the Opportunity for All grant by the Starbucks Foundation, a $63,000 pot of money that is going to help 85 refugees obtain work. The fact Starbucks is actually giving money to other coffee companies, to competitors, to open doors to mostly Muslim refugees shows just how far left its ownership has swung. TheDailyCall.org has the news. The grant awards the coffee company $63,000 to serve an additional 85 refugees, asylees and special immigrant visa holders, according to a press release issued Wednesday by the company. 1951 Coffee Company was one of 41 non-profit organizations selected by the Starbucks Foundation because of its approach to helping refugees obtain the skills required to succeed in a rapidly changing global economy, the press release stated. Doug Hewitt, co-founder of 1951 Coffee Company, said he and co-founder Rachel Tabor were very pleased to learn that the non-profit had been approved for the grant. According to Hewitt, the grant will allow the company's 2-week barista training program in Oakland, which takes place every other month, to increase its services to monthly. Hewitt added that, in terms of expansion, 1951 Coffee Company is looking to first take its training program to San Diego. Depending on how that effort goes, the nonprofit will decide where else to take the program. According to Hewitt, in order for a city to have potential for expansion, it must have a refugee population being resettled there, as well as a strong coffee industry. Our mission is to help people find a job in the specialty coffee industry, Hewitt said. We want to provide the type of employment people would want to stay in. Since the 1951 Coffee Company barista training program first launched in Oakland in June 2016, the nonprofit has produced 51 successful graduates composed of Bay Area refugees, asylees and special immigrant visa holders. According to Hewitt, with the shift from a bi-monthly program to a monthly program, the organization will have to double the amount of resources, including milk, coffee and building utilities, that it uses. The nonprofit has also hired an additional instructor, one of its very own training program graduates, Hewitt said. Meg Karki, who came to the United States from Nepal in 2011, was a senior barista at 1951 Coffee Company before being promoted to the title of program instructor. He was a refugee, and now he's going to be training others, Hewitt said. Muayyad Al-Habal, 29, a barista at 1951 Coffee Company who came to the United States from Syria 8 months ago, said he was excited to hear about the expansion of the training program, adding that he believed the expansion could significantly impact refugees nationwide. Some of them, because they don't have good English, they don't have a good experience here. No one accepts them, Al-Habal said. Non-profits, they can really make a change. Maybe you're not totally against a move like this. By all accounts, on the surface, this looks like a generous gesture on the part of a big corporation. However, this follows on the heels of a horrendous activity that they've been found to be acting out. Freedom Daily reported on the dangers that these Muslim refugees might be serving up with your morning coffee. Starbucks held a hiring event exclusively for Muslim refugees in San Diego, with the coffee franchise proclaiming their intentions to hire more than 10,000 refugees at baristas across the United States over the course of the next 5 years. But unfortunately for the remaining Americans who aren't scared to sip on possible crap-contaminated coffee, consuming Starbucks could now be fatal. 21.4% of Muslim refugees in the San Diego County carry tuberculosis, a disgusting disease that infects the lungs and is easily spread through the air by speaking, coughing, sneezing, or spitting. The location that Starbucks is picking their Muslim workers from is in San Diego County, a place where this highly contagious disease runs rampant throughout the Muslim migrant community. Research by a prominent doctor by the name of Timothy Rodwell, who works as a professor and physician in the Division of Global Health at UCSD, warned of the rampant TB after screening Muslim refugees in San Diego. He noted that this leading refugee resettlement site poses the highest rates of active TB in the entire country, where Breitbart reports that an astounding 1/4 of these Muslims have the disease. Apparently, Starbucks is planning to overlook both the fact that many of these refugees have terrorist associations, have been caught putting feces in drinks, and that there's a 1 in 3 chance they'll pass on a highly infectious disease because they need the good PR. Of all the industries to go down, being stabbed in the back by coffee is a low blow. Excuse me while I go cut up my Starbucks card and mourn this loss.